Good afternoon. Welcome to Fall River's annual Veterans Day Parade. I am Pamela Martin reporting for Fall River Government Television. This parade is sponsored by the City of Fall River as well as the Fall River Veterans Council. It's a little windy here today, but we are so pleased, proud, and honored to remember and thank our vets. If you're watching at home and you're a veteran, thank you as well for your sacrifice and service. Veterans Day coincides with Armistice Day as well as Remembrance Day. It marks the end of World War I in 1911 on the 11th hour of the 11th day in the 11th month when the United Nations and the Allies signed a treaty with Germany. I am joined now by Raymond Haig, our veterans agent for the City of Fall River and a veteran himself. Ray, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you so much.
We do this every year. And we're proud to do it.
Yes, we are.
We have a very active Veterans Council here in Fall River, second only behind New Bedford.
Yes, we have a constituency second to New Bedford.
What should folks do, perhaps widows or widowers of veterans, if they need assistance? How can they get in touch with you?
They can call us at our office, 508-324-2432, and we will ask a couple of basic questions, and if the answers are the right answers, we'll start your benefits rolling.
Okay. What are some of the similar needs that you see based on veterans of all eras, from World War II right on up to War on Terror?
The first and basic need is medical coverage and prescription coverage, and of course veterans that have served during wartime have access to the VA health system. We arrange for those appointments and things through our office.
Okay. We have many veterans buried here as well in Fall River, and we oversee those graveyards and monuments as well. What can you tell me about that work?
We put out a little over 10,000 flags on graves here in the cemeteries on Memorial Day. And we probably have somewhere up to 15 or 20,000 buried here in Fall River.
It's amazing, and I know that you do such a good job with the flags. Ray, thank you for your service. I'm sure it's going to be a lovely but poignant parade today, correct?
Yeah, it's going to be a nice parade. The weather's a little warmer than sometime, but windier than most, so it's going to be a good day.
All right. Ray, thank you very much, and
Thank you
for
so much.
your service as well. We'll see you marching on by soon enough, right?
Yeah, this year I have to get up into the parade, so usually I'm over here. But I'm gonna join the I guess it's unity theme, so I'm gonna lend my hand.
All right.
All right.
Get on over to Kennedy Park. Thank you, Ray. Raymond Haig, our veterans agent here for the City of Fall River, as he states, if you feel, and you are entitled to benefits, of course you have served our country, whether in combat time or not, please call Ray's office here at Government Center. Our city recently broke ground to make an addition to the memorials and monuments which honor those who served and those who were lost. We've been following the inception of the Vietnam replica wall here in Fall River since it started. Volunteers continue to raise money to construct the replica Vietnam wall, which will serve as a state memorial. To date, about $600,000 has been raised. Construction is expected to begin in early 2020 on the 80% size replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall to be located at Fall River Veterans Bicentennial Park.
We did want to stay true to the wall in Washington, D.C., but given current building codes and just other issues, we couldn't. So there are a few differences between this wall and the wall in D.C., but for the most part, it's a pretty good replica of the wall in D.C.
Those differences include landscaping, lighting, and walking paths. Brenda Aguiar was just 4 when her father, Gilbert Carvalho, was killed in September 1968. He left behind Brenda and her sister, Cindy.
I keep his memory alive every day. And this Bicentennial Park just means the world to me with the Gold Star families, and now with the Vietnam Wall coming, it really brings it home that my father's name's on that wall. And to be able to just come and sit and just remember him, like I do every day when I come here. I come here and it's like a sanctuary for me. It just gives me peace. You kind of wonder what your life would be if your dad was here. That support person, that man to look up to. someone who's not going to disappoint you. And I think that's the biggest thing, that I've had a hole for 50 years. But I keep his memory alive every day. I try to be a good person every day. I try to help with the veterans as much as I can.
Soldiers returning from Vietnam were often degraded and shunned by public protesters. This mistreatment forced many to remain in the shadows, unwilling to speak of their experiences.
That feels real good. For a long time, I didn't participate in any of the events, but I noticed the culture's starting to change toward Vietnam vets, and I think that's well deserved. So I feel real good about it. And as well as this project, I'm glad to be involved with the project.
Thank you again to those veterans who served and to those families who speak to me every Veterans and Memorial Day. They share so many touching stories, and I am honored to at least have played some small role in their healing. There are 58,300 approximately names of American soldiers killed or missing listed on that Vietnam Remembrance Wall, and of course we will have the replica here at Bicentennial Memorial Park. Thank you to the folks who continue to raise money. Working in the city for so many years, as I've said, I've met many heroes. Army veteran Kathleen Splinter is one of them. She says opportunities abound now for females in the military. However, those opportunities remain behind of the services that men continue to have.
Not much different. I think things haven't changed. Certainly there's more opportunities for women in the military than when I was there. We didn't even have a general in any of the services when I was on active duty, and now they can serve in any capacity in all of the services. So that has changed. But it still is very difficult for a woman, and I think it's reflected in our society with all of the issues that women face in our society, particularly with sexual harassment and or attacks, assaults. But because I've always felt the military is a microcosm of our society at large. So every problem you see in society, you're going to see in the military. But having said that, I think that women are the fastest growing demographic in the military, in all of the services. And when I was in, we were less than 1% of the total, and now it's over 12% and growing. So that's huge. But there's still a lot of issues to deal with. But as women step into the role of leadership in the military, that is going to help, because they're going to help to change the dynamic, and it's not going to be men telling women how and what they should be doing. But that's true in society. We haven't broken the glass ceiling yet, but we're close and we're hammering away at it.
Thank you, First Lieutenant Splinter, a living hero and a living historian. She served in the Vietnam Hospital Intensive Care Unit, and she is the first female to be named the Southeastern Massachusetts Veteran of the Year. First Lieutenant Splinter is one of just 16 million living American veterans. We thank them for their service and remember the 1,587 Americans listed as MIA in Vietnam, according to the American Service Records from July of 2019. So this is the season of giving, right? The season of helping. It's starting off the season when we all want to give back and remember. So if you're looking for a way to assist those who served, consider making a donation to the Veterans Association of Bristol County. The center on Pine Street offers many services such as mental health counseling, job search help, and legal assistance with the GI Bill. Also, vets in need may take home hygiene products, clothing, and food. Reporter Evan Matsud explains.
This overstocked pantry is reflective of a community that cares. Army veteran Stephen Perry manages the distribution of more than 20,000 pounds of food monthly, which includes meats, dairy, and produce. According to Kim Carvalho Wagner, administrative assistant, the food arrives from many sources. Churches, charities, businesses, and the United Way of Greater Fall River make sizable donations. However, a large quantity arrives from the Greater Boston Food Bank and We Share Hope of Rhode Island. Pre-sorted bags are made available to approximately 250 veteran families each month. As the need for assistance sadly increases, charitable groups and the community continue to embrace the mission.
And Evan tells me that the Veterans Association Center on Pine Street is open. The food pantry is open 4 days a week. Please do not hesitate to visit them if you feel that you need assistance. Men and women from World War II on through the Wall on Terror frequent that center for friendship as well as food. Massachusetts' last Pearl Harbor survivor died last week at the age of 98. Staff Sergeant George Hersey was a resident of Brockton. When Mr. Hersey joined the Army back in 1939, the average pay was $20 a month. Our sympathies do go out on this Veterans Day to Mr. Hersey's family. We thank veterans of all eras, of course, on this day, nationwide. One of them is Army veteran Warren Alves, right here of our city, Fall River. He found financial assistance and, more importantly, perhaps, friendship and camaraderie at the Veterans Association of Bristol County.
Oh, yeah, this is an excellent place. Like Tuesdays and Thursdays, they can come here and go to the back room and talk to the veteran DAV down there, and they're excellent help all the time. You know, any problems they might have, they're excellent. The whole place is excellent. You know, I came here because I went through a tough time. Not like some of these guys, but I lost my wife 2 years ago, and so I was depressed. I said, I don't know. I said, well, I'm going to go to the vet center, and I come here every day. It relaxes me. It's some place to go instead of being at home by myself, and I've made a lot of friends, and some of my old Army buddies come here now too. So it's almost like a reunion, but everybody is great here. They're always willing to help. We're always willing to help each other with everything.
Thank you to Mr. Alves. Here are our new flags at Gramada Plaza. We have a 4-division parade for you today, organized by Marine veteran Bill Damaris, as well as members of the Fall River War Veterans Council. Mr. Damaris is extremely giving to our community, and he has been a friend, along with his wife Paula, of mine for many years. They've assisted me in so many ways with stories that involve veterans, as well as linking me up with veterans that I need to talk to, and our living historians, as I like to call them. So if you have a chance today, and you will, thank a vet. And if you know a vet, take time to speak with that vet, to learn their story, to understand the sacrifices that not only those veterans went through, but the sacrifices of the families left behind in older days when their Skype and Facebook and ways to communicate were unavailable. I can hear the parade just getting started from Kennedy Park at 2 o'clock, so they're making their way down North Main Street here. They'll pass by Government Center on to the south side. This is the Police Marine Unit, also joined by the Roar of Freedom, the United States Veterans Motorcycle Club, the Speak of Freedom Motorcycle Club, and the Vietnam Veterans Motorcycle Club. So lots of unity here with the parade today, as groups, not only veterans groups, but members of the community come together to make sure that we have a fitting tribute to our veterans. I thank you again to all veterans who served, including those watching at home. You can watch a rebroadcast of this on Fall River Government Television. Let's take a look now as some of the people have gathered with their American flags. American flags will be given out as well by some of the parade participants to the folks who are watching the parade today. We have a number of camera folks and folks behind the scenes working the controls from Fall River Government Television, as well as Fred TV. Our students from Durfee High School do a fantastic job behind the cameras, making sure that the video and the audio is here, as well as just informing people throughout the school year of what happens. Durfee High School is very lucky to have Fred TV participate. There is one of our students right here with Gary Leet, an instructor here at Fred TV. And there I am, yet another angle. So you can see that we have multi-cameras, making sure that you have sights and sounds from today. It really is pretty balmy. I turned off the car here an hour ago and it was 61 degrees. Of course, it's windy here at Government Center. It always is. All right, another hands up. Thank you. You know, it's such a way for students not only to jumpstart their careers and add some work history to their resumes, but everything that they learn being a part of our organization at Fred TV is crucial to their development as good citizens here in Fall River. So the parade again is getting started by the Fall River Motorcycle Unit, and there are a number of units. The Roar of Freedom will be presented by the Veterans Motorcycle Club, the Speak of Freedom Motorcycle Club, and the Vietnam Veterans Motorcycle Club. Fall River Police Honor Guard will be joined by Chief Al Dupere. Please remember, stay posted. We'll bring you live coverage of the speaking ceremony right after the parade. So stay with us. Our Grand Marshal this year is the Fall River War Veterans Council Commander, Mr. Robert Viner, accompanied by Senior Vice Commander Bill Damaris. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. Okay, there's our camera angle from atop Government Center, where we routinely set up. You know, I spoke with Brenda Aguiar, and you saw that and met her as we talked about the replica Vietnam Wall and sadly how she lost her dad in the Vietnam War. And Brenda tells me that it is such a good feeling to see, perhaps in the last 15 years or so, the Vietnam veterans receiving that homecoming, those standing ovations, the cheering that they so deserve that they sadly did not receive upon their return home. This city escort exemplifies cooperation and unity of the city of Fall River, as well as veteran services. We now see the Bristol County Sheriff's Office contingent under Thomas Hodgson with Command Center coming through, as well as the K-9 unit and deputy sheriffs. Okay, the parade's heading in the right direction now. I also want to thank Mr. Gonzalez for helping to organize this parade as well. There's the Operation Command Center, and the Incident Command Center. This is the Fall River War Veterans Council. Commander Mr. Robert Viner, accompanied by Senior Vice Commander Bill Damaris. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. That's Bill driving. Thank you. Wow, are they helpful? I was proud to recently receive an honorary certificate from the Fall River War Veterans Council, and I thank the team at Fred TV and FRG TV who helped put together some of the promotions that we have that deal with the incoming Vietnam Wall. This is the 215th Army Fife and Drum Band. Let's take a listen now. We have our provincial mayor, Cliff Pond. Mayor-elect Paul Coogan. Joanne Mello representing Gold Star Families. Brenda Aguiar. Carlene Barrett. Mr. Tavares. And Mayor-elect Paul Coogan. This is Mr. Earl Gaudette. He served in the City Council from 1965 to 1991. He is a Marine and Navy veteran wearing his dress blues from 1953. Thank you, Mr. Gaudette, for your service. Mr. Gaudette, in 1970, received 9,000 votes during a write-in campaign for mayor, but he did not secure that office. Special parade marshals are Korean War veterans riding in the city trolley, and they are receiving salutes. You can see as we continue to lose veterans every day, sadly, that trolley is nearly empty. This is the Colonial Navy of Fall River, Massachusetts. American Legion posts just went by as well. In the center of your screen is the William S. Green Chapter 9 under the command of Paul Pacheco. This is the Bay State Band coming to us proudly from the city of New Bedford. Chuck Gregory with Wilhelmina Pelletier, proud wife of an Army veteran. Hello! Chuck is the commander of AMVETS, being driven by Red Grinvalski. We have Ray Dolber riding the AMVETS Post 60. Representing the South Coast Tribune, thank you, Ray Dolber, a Marine veteran of Vietnam, for your service as well. Army veteran specialist Christopher Ferguson in a 2005 Toyota Tacoma. Here is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, presented by Tony Taylor, a United States Marine Corps veteran. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. That tomb has appeared in the Bristol 4th of July parade, amongst other very well-known parades, too. And now in the center of your screen, we have the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall with committee members and wall ambassadors. The wall is being carried by Troy City Towing. There was wood framed by Hard Pine Truss Company. The panels on this unit you see here are 8 feet tall. That will be the height of the replica wall that will be under construction next year, 2020, here in Fall River. The panels were printed by Express Printing. The Vietnam Wall Unit is accompanied by members of Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall Committee and the ambassadors. You see white doves of peace being released now. The doves are flying heavenward. They represent the souls of the Vietnam veterans that are forever named upon the Vietnam Memorial Wall. The doves are courtesy of Paula Damaris. Wonderful, wonderful representative panel. This is the first time I see this. Joe Marshall as well, riding on the truck representing Troy City Towing. Here are members of the Fall River Young Marines now. The group is Congress Chartered Organization under the Marine Corps League. They meet every Sunday on the battleship here in Fall River. It's a highly decorated unit led by Frank Andrade, a United States Marine veteran and a Fall River police officer. The Young Marines do so much for our city. They are at so many nonprofit organizations. If you think your son or daughter might be a good candidate for the Young Marines, they're open up to children age 18. Teaching honor, respect, courage, gratitude, and pride in our city. Boy and Girl Scouts of America headed just by. Troop 4218, Troop 15, Troop 486, Pack 8. Please remember to stay with us here at Fall River Government Television. Immediately following the parade, we will bring you the ceremony from the atrium of Government Center. It's a short speaking program, prayer service. Our award-winning BMC Durfee High School Marching Band. Go Hilltoppers! Navy ROTC, also from Durfee High School. I see these young men and women practicing in the halls of Durfee after school in uniform. There's a commander bringing up the rear there. That's okay. We're making it work, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you so much. Love talking to folks on the parade route here. I love talking to folks on the parade route. And thank you for your service. You do it again. Okay, we have Miss Tri-County. Empire Auto Group provides many of the cars for this parade. The Fall River Veteran Services van heading by now, available to take vets to their medical appointments. Veterans Association of Bristol County. All right, you. Okay, our elected officials representing Fall River government in the center. State reps, members of the city council as well. I'll remember that if I get a chance. Thank you. All right, some incoming new faces here. Bristol County Commissioner John Mitchell. Disney characters too. This is new this year. Fire Department apparatus. Fall River Fire Chief John Lynch. Good job. Thank you. Oh, boy, did I get it. Yes, I got it in it. Okay. All right. Watch out here. Several new pieces of apparatus adding to our department, and right now there is, I'm told, a working fire on South Main Street. That's why the Fall River, some of the Fall River motorcycle units went off. Okay, members of the Fall River Emergency Medical Services now. Medical Command Unit. Joseph Case High School Marching Band. Right at the top of your screen. So yeah, someone went by and said to Evan Matsu, the camera person, that there was a working fire on South Main Street, and some of the motorcycle unit were called off to go check it out. We'll see. Case High Band is under the direction of Pam Reed. Really busy here on Sullivan Drive. As the parade wraps up, folks are stopping to watch those who are coming after. So it's getting pretty busy on Sullivan Drive. Folks are already walking in to the atrium to get a seat for the speaking program. Fall River Emergency Management, and the Fire Department Special Services. You can see at the top of the screen there to the left, this is the Fall River Fire Department fire apparatus representing the Fall River Fire Museum. This is a 1973 Maxim pumper built in Middleborough, Massachusetts. It's owned and restored by Jay and Nancy Chatterton. Probably on board. And boy, we do our best to certainly bring you the sights and sounds of these parades, as do I to call out the names and the units that go by. But remember, these are really a fluid schedule and a fluid rundown, as up until about 11 o'clock this morning, organizer Bill Damaris was still telling folks, yeah, just head over to Kennedy Park. We'll find a spot for you in the parade. We don't want to turn anybody away. But Bill did a wonderful job getting this rundown to me early. The Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 207, their home base is Westport. Their commander is Justin Latini. So many young women now, Miss Fall River, Miss Quikasham, Mustang convertible, my absolute favorite car of all time. So these organizations are so important for young women to gain confidence, as well as self-esteem, speaking skills, and scholarship money in many cases. These women all have causes that they are dedicated to, and by having their reign for 1 year, they're able to bring those causes to the forefront as they speak at schools, nursing homes, before city councils and other bodies of government. Sons of Italy now, post number 1035, also out of Fall River, Massachusetts. Miss Columbus, representing the Fall River Sons of Italy. See, it's a pretty good crowd here. See, everybody's kind of parking themselves along Sullivan Drive. Not sure what the streets were like around Kennedy Park as the parade started at 2 p.m., but I can tell you, boy, we've got a good crowd over here on Sullivan Drive. Miss Senior Sweetheart, the organization founded by Mr. Lenny Kaplan. First of its kind in the world. Yep, Miss Senior Sweetheart pageant, right here. We have more boys and Girl Scout troops, 486, Troop 4218, Troop 15, Pack 8. This was a very well-organized and well-attended parade, and the weather has been just outstanding to get folks outdoors to honor our veterans. Like Brenda Aguiar told me earlier, who lost her dad in Vietnam, it's so nice. Boy, does it warm her heart to see Vietnam veterans in particular receive salutes, thank yous, cheers, clapping as they make their way along the parade route. That was something that Vietnam veterans did not experience when they were first returning home from war. Okay, that went quickly. It really was a wonderful parade here in Fall River. So honored to have brought it to you. My thanks to all of the organizers, the Fall River War Veterans Council, as well as the city of Fall River, to the people who participated and marched. Remember, we'll rebroadcast this parade at a later date. To all of my friends who stop and speak to me as they're heading on to Sullivan Drive, it's wonderful to greet all of them as well. And a big shout out to the students at Fred TV at Durfee High School. They've done a wonderful job as well. Please stay tuned. We have a speaking program. We'll start shortly up at the atrium, and we'll be bringing that ceremony to live as well. I am Pamela Martin. To those who served, to the families who were alongside them at home, keeping watch, I thank you as well. Thank you. Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah. I need to have the copy scheduled. Let me see it. Who is it? No, they're not on here. They're on the other paper. Here, hold on. I got it here. Here. You know what? Take one from here. Huh?
Will you all please take a seat? For those of you who do not know me, my name is James Gonsalves. I am the Chief of Staff for the Fall River War Council, and I'm also the commander of the VFW Post 486 in Fall River. I'd like to welcome you all to our closing ceremonies. At this time, please stand while we post the colors. Colors in place. Present. Arms. We'll have Miss Fall River, Olivia Marks will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hors d'oeuvre, arms. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to call for our minister, who's acting as our chaplain, to invoke the opening prayer. Uncover.
Join me in the spirit of prayer. Creator of all that is beautiful and good, we assemble this day to honor the warriors who, in service to your good, have known the sound of a bullet, the power of a blast, the blood of a comrade, the depth of sacrifice, the terror at midnight, the dread at dawn, the reality of fear and pain. As soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines and Coast Guardsmen who responded to the nation's call to service, we bear witness on this Veterans Day of the sound of your honor, the power of your courage, the blood of your wound, the depth of your strength, the terror that binds you, the dread that remains, your dignity and your valor having borne the battle. And in our parade and ceremonies today, we have gathered to honor you, who have ennobled mud and steel and blood and exhaustion, that you may receive the spirit of peace upon you, so that we may all know your sound of laughter, the power of your vision and voice, the blood of your yearning, the depth of your wisdom, the joy that frees you, the hope that remains, and the peace of your soul. Lord in heaven, let the veterans of this great city of Fall River and this nation know your beauty and your good, as we beseech you this day that you find their sacrifices worthy in your eyes. Let to us to be a people worthy of those sacrifices, and that we may never break the faith of the warriors of all generations. We pray this in the name of all that is holy. Amen.
Amen. At this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend and the city's Veteran Service Officer, Raymond Haig.
Thank you, Commander. I'd like to welcome everyone here today, and thank you for joining us on Veterans Day. It was a nice parade, well attended, and we appreciate that. And to my right, I'd like to introduce to you Fall River's Gold Star Families, who has had a family member give the ultimate sacrifice, and as painful as it may be, they join us at the parades, and a lot of support for all our veterans in Fall River, and would like to thank them very much. Thank you. And I also see Gold Star brother in the front row, Jimmy Brennan. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm now going to do my best to introduce everyone to my left, although the playing field changes. I have the past commander of the Veterans Council, Lenny Tavares. We have Acting Mayor and Council President Cliff Ponting. We have Mayor-elect Paul Coogan. We have the Council Commander and Grand Marshal Bob Viner. We have State Representative Paul Schmidt. State Representative Carol Fiola. City Council Vice President Pam Liberty LeBeau. City Councilor Steve Long. City Councilor-elect Chris Peckham. City Councilor-elect Linda Pereira. City Councilor-elect Michelle Dion. City Councilor-elect Trot Lee. County Commissioner John Mitchell, School Committeeman Kevin Aguiar, School Committee Vice Chair Mark Costa, and we have School Committee Josh Hetzler. Did I forget anyone? And before I introduce the mayor, I would just like to thank my staff in my office and Government Center for letting me do my job as well as they say I do, but because without them, I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So thank you to them. Thank you so much. I'd now like to introduce Acting Mayor Cliff Ponte.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Hagan. Thank you to the Gold Star families as well as thank you to our colleagues in government and those who are councilor-elect or mayor-elect. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to today's ceremony, and thank you for attending. I'm honored to be speaking with you today on such an important occasion. We are here today to honor our servicemen and women and to remember the sacrifices they have made and the courage it takes to defend our country. We're here today honoring our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, and their commitment, and to say thank you. Today we are in the company of patriots and their families and friends. I'd like to ask that we give the veterans here a nice warm round of applause, please. Thank you for answering the call of duty. Millions of Americans have fought and died on battlefields here and abroad to defend our freedoms and way of life. We are especially proud of our Fall River servicemen and women for their commitment to our country. Veterans Day was originally designated as a day to celebrate an end of World War I. The First World War ended November 11th, 1918, and the legislation created Veterans Day, which then created, as time went on, engaged in further conflicts with World War II. Veterans Day group lobbied for that change, and rather than honoring all those who served in World War I, the holiday would now honor all veterans from every war and every conflict the United States has encountered. We're honored to have honored our troops and their service and their sacrifice to our country. As Americans, we should encourage one another to thank our veterans, as they are the few of us who have fulfilled the patriotic duty to maintain our freedoms for our country. So on behalf of the entire citizens of Fall River, the City Council, councilors-elect, thank you to the veterans for their service to our country and the great city of Fall River. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd now like to ask Mayor-elect Paul Coogan to say a few words.
I really didn't write a speech. Cliff stole all my lines, so I know that that's going to be a problem. But this is the one event we come to every year that the people we're honoring are the people that made it possible to do it. And that's what you have to keep in mind. This country's free because of their effort, their sacrifices, and what they gave from their heart. And I'll never forget it, and I'll be at every one of these celebrations as long as I'm involved in politics in Fall River and ever after. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I do see Miss Fall River here, and I see a lot of other titles of Miss. And what I'm going to do is, if you could, one, stop by and just say who you represent and your name. One right after the other, please.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Olivia Marks, and I was just crowned Miss Fall River this past Saturday.
I'm a little shorter than her. That's okay. I'm a little shorter than her, as you can see. But hi, everyone. My name's Abigail Souza, and I was also just crowned on Saturday night Miss Bristol County's Outstanding Teen 2020.
Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Durant, and I am Miss Tri-County's Outstanding Teen 2020, and I was also just crowned this Saturday.
Good afternoon. My name is May Reed D'Antino, and I am Miss Quequechan 2020, and I was crowned in October.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julia Bauer, and I am Miss Quequechan's Outstanding Teen.
I'm Jessica Doobie, and I just got crowned Miss Columbus again in October.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. I'd now like to turn this back over to the Commander, Jim Gonzo.
Once again, Mr. Flexibility. Okay. At this time, I'd like to introduce my commander, who has a lot of faith in me for today anyway, Mr. Robert Viner, Commander of the War Council. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I got to get used to your mic, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think, in part, the acting mayor took part of my my little story for today, but I'm going to go through it a little differently than what he did. I'm going to be a little more technical, but I want you to know it also includes the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. In 1921, the 11th hour, the 11th of November, the unknown American soldier of the First World War was buried in an unknown present, put on the hill in near Washington, D.C. At the same time, this was happening in the United States, was taking place in England and Westminster Abbey and the Arc de Triomphe in France. All three countries claimed to be the Allies' finally buried the three unknowns at the site considered highly revered in each country. The acts took place on the 11th of November when universal recognition ending World War I at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November 1918. This day became known as Armistice Day. In 1926, through congressional solutions, congressional solution, the 11th of November became known as Armistice Day in the United States. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill proclaiming this day, November 11th, to be known as Veterans Day, honoring all veterans from all wars. In 1984, two more unknown bodies from the Second World War joined their comrade from the First World War on that grassy knoll in Arlington. In 1973, another bill was introduced allowing the acceptance of the unknown remains of the Vietnam War veterans to be interned in the same location. The area in the cemetery named Arlington was built up the Grand Monument. It is today the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This is the only monument which has an honor guard from the United States 3rd Division and Infantry Division called the Old Guard. They keep a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week vigil on the tomb. Today, 100 years later, we are assembled here to continue the reverent resemblance of the war to end all wars and the veterans, both living and dead, who made the ultimate sacrifice while we were here today. Let us reflect on each and every one of us that we would be these men and women chosen not to answer the call of their respective countries to duty. Each year, we try to honor them with services, parades, speeches, and we do this to thank you, for us to thank them for the memory of their departed. So I'm going to leave you with a. Hang on for 1 second. I got smaller print. This was a little addition I wanted to put on this because I thought it was very important. So I leave you now with this simple thought. Just think of the price our freedom has been bought. The honored sacrifice of the brave men and women. We must answer them for all they have given. For all their services, we thank them. For all their courage, we salute them. For all their sacrifices, we honor them. And we will never forget them. Once again, as commander of the Fall River Veterans Council, I thank you and I salute my fallen comrades and those who are present today. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'm going to introduce to you the Senior Vice Commander for the Fall River War Council, Mr. William Damaris.
This mic's a little bit too tall for me, but the reason they're allowing me to speak or asking me to speak is they've got me as the Senior Vice Commander a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, I should say, and Paul Pacheco, the commander of DAV, said, "Bill, we want you to be a delegate to the War Council." I said, "Okay, I'll be a delegate from the DAV." I go to that meeting. He said, "You got to be at tonight's meeting." Next thing I know, I'm getting nominated to be Senior Vice Commander. That's okay. Right after that, they said, "Bill, your next duty, we got to take care of the Korean Monument. Finish it." And together with a big team, we did finish it, and we're very proud of that. The War Council is very proud of it. Give the Korean veterans a round of applause today. And while you're giving a round of applause, everybody enjoyed the parade today? Did everybody enjoy that parade today? Yeah. Well, could all the committee people please stand up, because they never get recognized back there, Paul, the FMF guys, all the guys on the parade committee, could you please stand up or raise your hand to get recognized? Jimmy Pacheco, Jimmy Gonzalez, Paul Pacheco. Let's go. Stand up, guys. Look at them all. Bob Reynolds. These are the guys that did the work to make it happen. They made the phone calls. They sent the letters, got the letters back. They made the follow-up phone calls, and they begged and borrowed to get people to come. And I think we had some great entries in the parade today. It wasn't that long ago, Ray Haig, the veterans agent, invited me here to a ceremony. Maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. It was a veteran ceremony to honor Vietnam veterans. And the keynote speaker was Jay Clarkin. Jay Clarkin, a Vietnam veteran, who's also a well-known attorney in the area. And his remarks centered around, "Remember me." And he said, you know, and he gave the story of the girl that, when she was in World War II, when she was being killed, and all she asked for in the end was to be remembered. Well, I thought about that a lot. That day I thought was a very moving speech because he connected the Vietnam veterans to it, because when it comes down to it, that's what it's all about. When it comes to Vietnam veterans, if you look around you, you'll see some Vietnam veterans, you can spot them right away. They wear funny hats. You know, they get little numbers and symbols on them, and some wear crazy vests, and some wear motorcycle vests, and some wear no mark at all to show you they're a veteran. They're all around you. They're everywhere. You wouldn't believe where they are. Somebody's grandparent, somebody's father, somebody's uncle is a veteran. And the veterans are trained to always listen, always watch their surroundings, what's going on. And we hear what people say and what they don't say. When we first came back from Vietnam, some people didn't say very nice things about us because they didn't like the war, so hey, let's pick on these guys. They're the guys over there fighting. But today I got to tell you that It's nice to hear people talk well about veterans when they don't even know a veteran is around. It's nice to see people do things for veterans, whether it's opening up a soup kitchen, whether it's saying thank you for your service, or whether it's saying have a nice day and giving them a smile. It means a lot to a veteran. All we want you to do is, we don't want you to honor us all the time. We just like you. And that's the point. We want you to get to know us, and if you know us and what we did and know that we're just like you, then you'll remember us. And that's all a veteran can ask you. Please remember all your veterans, not just the ones that are still able here to walk around, but all the veterans on the Vietnam Wall, all the veterans in the Ford Memorial Wall that's in Kennedy Park. Remember all veterans. Thank you and God bless.
In keeping with the traditions, we've just sent out invitations to a lot of local politicians, which I'm glad to see here. We've sent it out to our state and federal reps. One of our federal senators wanted to be here but could not be here, but sent us a text mail. And at this time, I'm going to ask for the individual who's a member of my parade committee, my adjutant from the VFW, my adjutant from the War Council, to come up and read her response to our invite. Larry?
City of Fall River Veterans Day Parade, November 11, 2019. Statement from U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren. And now I have to put on my glasses so I can see it, because it's very small. Hello? Hello, Fall River. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to send along this message. As our nation celebrates Veterans Day, I want to say thank you to all the brave men and women who have served our country as members of our armed forces, and to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service of our nation. As a sister of 3 veterans, I understand the deeply important contributions our service members and their families make to make our country and our communities each day. You make us proud. The men and women of our armed forces are smart, tough, and courageous. You make extraordinary sacrifices to keep our loved ones and all of us safe, and we owe you our deepest gratitude for your service. Veterans Day is also a reminder of our promise as a country to support and honor our veterans when you return home. That means working to ensure you have access to high-quality education, top-notch health care, and it means making sure you can find good jobs. Today is an opportunity for the people of Massachusetts and across the country to pause and reflect, to say thank you to our family members, friends, and neighbors, for all of our service members who have risked their lives to protect our nation. We are forever grateful for your courage, your dedication, and your service. Thank you, and happy Veterans Day.
At this time, I'd like to call upon Ms. Quikashan Me Reed, singer God Bless America.
Please join me in singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love, stand beside
to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
At this time, I'd like to extend our thank yous to the Empire Hyundai for the use of their vehicles, also to Dunkin' Donuts for the coffee and donuts that you will participate in later. And at this time, my old favorite, I'd like to call the roll. Members of the VFW, stand to be recognized. Thank you. American Legion, members, stand to be recognized. Members of the DAV and DAV Auxiliary, thank you. American veterans, stand to be recognized. Thank you. Portuguese American, Lebanese American, Italian American, thank you. And if I forgot anybody, I apologize. And at this time, I will turn the mic over to our Senior Vice Commander for our closing ceremonies.
Like I said, they've got me in training here, so breaking me in. Another one, I guess I'm getting, we're going to do the retirement of colors. Is that, stand, please. Everyone, please stand. Salute. Reverend.
Uncover.
U.S. Army, veteran. Please give the honor guard, please honor guard a round of applause, please. And by the way, they told us that Chief Cohen is going to do everything he can to make sure he buys them some weapons so they can do the honor volley next year. So let's hope he does. If you see Chief Cohen or the chief of the police, please let him know. They need their guns. Next thing I'd like to bring up is Reverend Strickland, Andy. He's a U.S. Army veteran. He's the pastor for the First Congregational Church, and this church does a lot of work with veterans, feeding veterans, raising money for veterans. And matter of fact, the other day he gave me a check for $1,000 for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall. So please give him a round of applause aside.
Again, join me in blessing. O Lord, we have witnessed in this day that in great deeds, greatness abides. Let the greatness of what we have borne witness to today, that all that has come before us, with the veterans that stand among us and the veterans that stand beyond the veil, that in all of them, that their great deeds endures in each one of us, endures in our assembly today, and endures as we leave this place. Let us ever and always hold them dear, that in all that we will do and all that we will fail to do, we will ever and always look towards those great deeds in which something abides with us. We pray this in the name of what is holy. Amen.
One last item. We try to get the invites out early enough. Some people we've missed, some people we have no address for. If you know of a group who would like to participate in our Memorial Day parade, have them get a hold of myself, Larry, at the VFW in Fall River, and we'll make sure that they get an invite. And once again, I want to thank you all for attending. Have a safe trip home.
Coffee and donuts in the back of the room. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow.